We've all been there. After you finish reassembling a phone, you finally see that Apple logo boot up, followed by that wallpaper. You are filled with excitement as you rush to tell your friends and lavish in your accomplishments. Maybe sit there and admire what you've done, knowing that you did the job correctly, all by yourself. But afterwards, you remember that you need to get on with your day, and you go to clean up everything. You might find yourself throwing out that old cracked screen and putting it in the trash can along with the rest of your garbage. Well, today I'm here to tell you guys why you should go digging up for those old cracked screens again, as you could be throwing away as much as $100 into the trash can when you do this. We oftentimes don't have the expertise to go ahead and refurbish an iPhone screen on our own. For that reason, we oftentimes go to a third party in order to purchase a brand new screen to replace our old broken screens. However, there are a lot of companies that specialize in just refurbishing broken iPhone screens, and all they need is just a steady supply of broken screens in order to refurbish. This is where LCD Buyback programs come into play. So this is essentially how they work. You send and ship out any broken iPhone screens you have to them, and then they will pay you accordingly depending on the quality and the model number of the screen. Afterwards, they will try to refurbish the screen and then they'll sell it to a different buyer. For repair shops, LCD buyback programs are very important when it comes to breaking a profit every month, and they're a core part of their business model. And for us who just like to work on our phones and do repairs by ourselves, these LCD buyback programs are very useful when it comes to recouping some of the cost of a repair. These programs are also very helpful when it comes to reducing waste as well. By refurbishing a screen, one less iPhone screen ends up in the landfill. So I'm going to break down one LCD buyback program today. And keep in mind, there are hundreds of different LCD buyback programs, different ones you can choose and research on. And they will follow more or less the same idea that I go over in this video. But today I'm going to talk about Injured Gadget's LCD buyback program. This is not a paid advertisement, nor do I have any ties to Injured Gadgets, but I do like their service and I have used them quite extensively in the past, so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm also going to leave a link in the description if you're interested in using Injured Gadgets or interested in just checking out and learning more about their program. So there are two different parameters that determine how much money you get from a broken iPhone screen. One is the quality and the second is the model. Newer models are obviously worth more in value than older models. So what dictates quality when it comes to an iPhone screen? So there are going to be three different grades when it comes to Injured Gadget's quality. So there's going to be the A/B grade, the C grade, and the bad grade. Starting with the A/B tier, this is where you're going to receive the most money out of your LCD screens. On their website, they state that these are the screens that are fully functional OEM screens with no or slight defect. So with their definition of this A/B tiered, they want first of all OEM screens, and second of all the underlying panel has no damage to it. So meaning that as long as there's no broken pixel, large splotches of blackness on the screen, it's sensitive to touch, it still displays images well, you are qualified for the A/B tier. So even if your screen is like shattered in a million pieces, there's glass missing from the top panel, or if there's just one tiny little hairline crack or a little tiny scratch, as long as the panel underneath all that glass is fine, you will qualify for the A/B tier. So once again, this is the best quality screen that you could give to them. Going one underneath that A/B tier is going to be the C tier. So the C tier is going to include any screen that have backlighting issues or have some sort of yellowing. The LCD panel might have like slight issues, but you'd qualify under the C tier. So your LCD panel might not be fully functional to qualify you for the A/B tier, but it's still intact where maybe there's some like dimming issues, and that would land you in the C tier. So our final tier is going to be the bad tier. So this is going to encompass everything else that we haven't discussed yet. First of all third-party panels, no matter if they're even in pristine condition, they're going to be qualified as the bad tier. It doesn't matter if it has a hairline scratch, it doesn't matter if it's pristine condition, it's going to land yourself in the bad tier. Also, any OEM panels that have large splotches of pixels missing, I'm talking about like when you touch the screen, nothing happens, it doesn't display pictures at all, that would qualify you under the bad tier as well. Knowing how much you can get from the screen, you can determine how you want to ship it. So you can either go through the hassle of going to the USPS or going to the UPS and printing out a shipping label and sending it through that way, or you could elect to deduct $10 from what you would receive from Injured Gadgets, and then they'll provide you with a shipping label. So it would deduct $10 no matter if you're shipping 1 screen or 10 screens. So I usually stockpile on a bunch of screens and then ship them out in order to save money on the shipping costs. Afterwards, you can elect what type of payment that you want. You can either receive payment in the form of cash using PayPal, or you can elect to receive store credit. If you elect the PayPal amount, they're going to deduct $10 once again. For that reason, I often elect store credit in order to offset any cost of future repairs that I need to do later on. Finally, after going through the process of packaging and shipping your phone, Injured Gadgets is going to receive them, review them, and then at that point, they'll issue you your payment. So for newer models of iPhones like iPhone 13 and 14, it's going to make a lot of sense to do these LCD buyback programs. Components for these newer phones are very expensive, and that makes the LCD buyback programs very lucrative as well. And they could really make a big difference when it comes to offsetting the cost of the repair, especially if you do it by yourself. But for older models of iPhones, it might not make as much sense because these components are, first of all, very cheap to begin with, so LCD buyback programs are not going to offer that much money for these phones. For this reason, I would suggest holding onto these components until you have enough to justify a shipment. Or if you really need to get rid of these components, I would suggest you going to a local recycling center or iPhone repair shop, and they'll be happy to take these components off your hands. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more electronics repair content, be sure to leave a like, and I would greatly appreciate that. So I hope everyone has a nice day.